Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into a topic that sparks a lot of conversation and sometimes a little controversy: hustle culture. You hear so much about it these days, right? Often painted with terms like toxic or, linked to burnout.
Definitely.
But what if there's another side to that story, a perspective that maybe completely reframes what hustle truly means?
That's exactly what we're getting into. Our source for this deep dive: Dominate Life. The unabashed truth of hustle culture. It doesn't just challenge the prevailing narrative, it actively confronts it.
Confronts it. How?
Well, it argues that hustle culture isn't dead at all, but maybe just profoundly misunderstood.
Ugh.
And it offers a very specific and, frankly, quite provocative blueprint for achieving extreme success.
Okay, provocative. So our mission today is to unpack this bold viewpoint. We'll
Right.
try to extract the core arguments, the surprising assertions, and what the author claims is the unabashed truth of this whole lifestyle. We'll explore why this source believes moderation is, well, a myth for those seeking to dominate life, and what it truly takes, according to its author, to get those uncommon results. So yeah, let's unpack this.
Let's do it.
So the source wastes absolutely no time. It opens by directly confronting this idea that working too hard is inherently toxic, or that you need this perfect balance to avoid burnout. It really sets a defiant tone, like right from the get-go.
It absolutely does. The author poses this direct, almost confrontational question to you, the listener.
Okay.
When was the last time an empire was built on 8 hours of sleep, green smoothies, and self-care Sundays?
Okay, blunt.
Yeah, and it's not just a rhetorical flourish. It's really the foundation for their core assertion.
Yeah.
You don't dominate life through moderation, but rather through obsession.
Obsession. Why?
And this is, I think, a crucial insight because it directly challenges that prevailing self-care narrative we hear everywhere. It suggests true mastery isn't found in, gentle balance, but in an almost single-minded pursuit. It's a radical departure from mainstream advice.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like it. So it's immediately clear this isn't your typical self-help guide.
Not at all.
It's making a point that this isn't about killing yourself at a desk or glorifying burnout, which, are common criticisms you hear leveled at hustle culture.
Exactly. It anticipates that.
So how does the source then define what it does mean by hustle, if it's not that?
It defines it quite distinctly, actually. For this source, hustle is about becoming allergic to average.
Allergic to average.
Yeah, not just disliking it. It means having an intense, almost physical aversion to mediocrity or, complacency. It talks about waking up with fire in your chest.
Fire in your chest.
Because you have something to prove to yourself.
Yeah.
It points to this internal driving compulsion that goes way beyond just wanting external validation.
That's a really powerful image, fire in your chest. And it seems to emphasize using your time very deliberately, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
The source talks about weaponizing time, using every hour like a weapon. This isn't passive ambition we're talking about here.
No, it's anything but passive.
Yeah.
The author illustrates this pretty vividly, saying, when others coast, you sharpen. When others scroll, you study. When others rest, you build. This isn't just like a metaphor. It implies a complete restructuring of your daily life, seeing every single moment as an opportunity for strategic advancement. It forces a mindset where even downtime is scrutinized for its productive potential.
Okay, so with this intense focus on leveraging every moment, it sounds like comfort might not exactly be part of the plan.
Not high on the list, no.
Does the source address the role of discomfort in this whole philosophy?
It absolutely does.
Right.
And crucially, it frames the embrace of discomfort not as some unfortunate byproduct, but as a deliberate strategy. Yes. The author states that to win, you need to make peace with being uncomfortable. What's fascinating here is that it frames hustle not as just random busy work, but as a calculated strategy. Sacrifice now, live like a king later.
Sacrifice now, live like a king later.
And the author explicitly calls this playing chess, while everyone else is playing checkers with their dreams. It implies a level of foresight and long-term planning that, according to the source, others just lack.
That's a really strong claim, differentiating their approach as chess. And the source certainly tries to back this up by giving specific examples of people who go all in.
Right.
It mentions Andrew Tate becoming a global brand and states that millionaires don't just dabble, hoping, trying things out.
No dabbling.
But they hustle with intent, with rage, with precision. It paints this very, very intense picture of dedication, almost an all-consuming drive.
It really does. And it's crucial to note here, the source argues hustle isn't just about money, while it's often associated with financial gain, obviously.
Right, that's the usual association.
It expands the definition significantly beyond that.
Okay, so if it's not just about the money, what does the source suggest the ultimate payoff of all this intensity actually is?
It claims the payoff is about becoming undeniable, about walking into a room and knowing no one worked harder than you.
Undeniable. Huh.
Yeah. And if we connect this to the bigger picture the author presents, it supposedly leads to power, status, and what the source calls real freedom.
Real freedom.
It suggests these are the ultimate goals, the real payoffs of such an intense commitment, going beyond just wealth to a more, maybe, holistic sense of mastery and control.
Okay, but this path, I mean, as intense as it sounds, surely it comes with some pretty stark trade-offs, doesn't it? The source seems quite upfront about that.
It does not mince words at all. The author states very bluntly, everyone wants the result. Few want the schedule.
Yeah, that seems plausible.
It really highlights the significant personal cost involved. Hustle culture, in this specific context, demands you trade comfort for clarity, laziness for legacy, distraction for discipline.
Wow, those are big trades.
Huge trades. And it raises an important question for anyone listening, anyone considering this path. Are you truly willing to make those exchanges? And then the source states explicitly, it's not for everyone, and that's exactly why it works.
Okay, so the exclusivity is part of the feature, not a bug.
Exactly. It implies its very difficulty is what makes it effective for those few who actually choose it and stick with it.
And it even takes on balance, right? Which is a concept so many of us, strive for or talk about striving for.
It does.
The source views that common call for balance pretty critically, suggesting it's almost code for be like everyone else.
Yeah, it really challenges the conventional wisdom there quite aggressively. It offers this stark choice. If you're cool with that, good luck. Basically, if you're okay with average, fine. But for those who want to dominate and create shockwaves, it claims hustle isn't optional. It's oxygen.
Oxygen's
Right.
fundamental.
It presents it as a non-negotiable fundamental requirement for extreme ambition, not just some lifestyle choice you can opt in or out of.
This definitely sounds like a philosophy that values immediate action over just thinking about things.
Precisely. The advice is super blunt. Forget waiting for motivation. Forget the perfect timing. None of that.
So what then?
The instruction is simply just move, build, stack wins daily. There's just no room for hesitation, no reliance on waiting for the stars to align or for external factors.
Right.
And it ends this section with a really stark statement. No one's coming to save you. Hustle culture teaches you that. It really emphasizes this idea of radical self-reliance.
Okay, so after laying out this incredibly intense framework, what's the ultimate takeaway the source leaves us with, particularly thinking about legacy?
Yeah, it definitely ties it all back to how you'll be remembered in the end. The author offers this powerful dichotomy. In the end, you can either be remembered for how hard you worked or forgotten because you didn't.
Choose your legacy, essentially.
Pretty much. And the ultimate directive is crystal clear. Dominate, don't dabble.
Yeah.
It's a final, decisive push towards just uncompromising action.
Wow, okay. So this deep dive into dominate life, the unabashed truth of hustle culture, certainly gives us a powerful, very unvarnished perspective on what it takes, at least according to this particular source, to achieve that kind of extraordinary success. It's a view that really does challenge a lot of the conventional wisdom you might encounter about work and balance and ambition.
It does indeed. What's really fascinating here, I think, is how it works to redefine hustle, not as self-destruction or just aimless busyness.
Right, not burnout for its own sake.
Exactly. But as a disciplined, strategic path towards becoming, as it says, undeniable. It clearly demands a very specific mindset and, crucially, a willingness to embrace discomfort and make significant trade-offs that, let's be honest, many people are simply unwilling to consider.
Yeah, absolutely. It certainly offers a lot to chew on. So thinking about this for you, the listener, what does this all mean? Considering this particular very intense perspective, how do you distinguish in your own life between, say, dominating your life and simply dabbing in your ambitions?
That's a great question.
And maybe more pointedly, what personal sacrifices might you actually be willing or perhaps unwilling to make for that kind of singular, all-consuming focus?